All right, maiden voyage of the second channel from the couch. These are the couch videos. So hope you guys are all doing good. If you are tuning in, you made it over here from the main channel. Thank you all so much. Like I kind of briefly mentioned in the Hendrix video, is I really just want this channel to be kind of just more chill, more just guitar nerdy, if that's even possible. But we're gonna talk about the Hendrix, the Hendrix Trap, the dangers of the Jimmy influence, because obviously Hendrix is a legend, and I think everyone should try to learn something from Jimmy. But the problem, and this isn't so much a problem with Hendrix, it's not a problem, I don't want to say it's a problem, but the dilemma that we face with these guys that have this incredible, unique sound. Hendrix, you know it's him as soon as you hear him start playing. Think of Eric Johnson, I mentioned him in the main video. As soon as you go something like that, someone's always just like, oh, you're an Eric Johnson fan. So there's just certain players, Steve Vai, Yngwie, who have such an identifiable sound. It's hard sometimes to learn their stuff without just sounding exactly like them. And it's because they sound so good, it's kind of like, why would I change it? Or if it's not broke, don't fix it. But like with the Jimmy stuff that I was talking about, to me that's all, Hendrix probably would have played something a lot cooler than what I just did, but it's the similar kind of influence. It's all coming very much from Jimmy. But technically, for me, it comes more from SRV, because he's who I kind of learned the stuff from first, but obviously he got it from Hendrix. But I think SRV did a really good job of taking a very strong Hendrix influence and kind of doing his own thing with it. There's still a lot of that Jimmy flavor, but he did his own thing with it. And that's kind of what I wanted that whole video to be about, because I think you can change anyone's style to try to make it fit your own. Sit there and learn their stuff and just be like, all right, what's the overall idea behind what they're doing though? Because I think that's the most important part. So if you're learning something from someone like the Jimmy stuff, and I only gave one example where I did like where I was kind of doing more like the sixth, the harmonizing that way, because it gives you a wider sound. But something that you could do is add the sliding sound, and Jimmy did this stuff, but this kind of takes it more in this like R&B soul route where you're going, see if I can get my hands to work, they're cold. And like I said, Hendrix totally did that kind of stuff, but it loses that initial Hendrix like shock factor. Like as soon as you go, everyone's always just like Hendrix. So I think it's kind of dangerous when you do that stuff. The other thing that's kind of cool is to take, there is some cars flying down the road. So loud. But another little area that you can kind of dive into with Hendrix is the idea of sliding stuff around a lot, because he slid chords around. And it's like, well, how in the world do you make that not sound like Hendrix? And to be honest, I don't know. Because that's a very distinct, that add 9, Hendrix did that stuff all the time. So my kind of idea is, okay, we'll use that technique, but instead of the add 9, or like he did a lot of like the sus4, well, maybe throw in a sus2 chord or something. So like if you're doing that, to me it instantly loses so much of that Hendrix factor. Like it's still there, it's still underlying, but it doesn't really sound like him if I'm like. But what if I went like this? That has so much of that Hendrixness in it. So we got to make a Hendrixectomy to try to extract that kind of like overpowering flavor. I think that's a good way to put it. Think about food that you might have something that tastes really good with ketchup or something like that, but if you just drowned it in ketchup, then is the food, is the chicken or whatever you're eating still there? Because then you're just basically eating ketchup. So I think that's how I kind of view a lot of this stuff is don't drown your own playing in these influences to where there's nothing else left. You know, you don't want to be a clone of anyone. If you're sitting there and you hear someone go, you know, they're going to be like, that's SRV. And it's fine. Take all that stuff. Use it sometimes. Make sure you're mixing in these other styles, or just, you know, I can't, you know, hit this home point enough. Something I always talked about when I used to teach, I always focused on teaching this to my students, was the concept. What is the concept of what you're learning? Because if you can dissect that from something, it's so much more powerful. It's the whole, you know, teach a man to, you know, give a man bread or give a man a fish or whatever, feed him for a day, teach him how to fish, feed him for his life. And I feel like that's the way guitar is kind of like looked at, because, you know, learn a lick from someone. You're like, sweet, I got a cool new lick. Learn the ideas and the concepts behind the lick, and you have thousands of licks that you're going to create yourself. So I think that's going to be it. We're just going to wrap this up, maybe a little teaser for what's coming up next week here. The SG is sitting beside me. And let me know what you guys think about this one. Like I said, I really want this channel to be way more of a conversation. The main channel is going to be way more kind of like direct and to the point with these videos. I like the contrast of these two styles. So hopefully you guys dig this video. Keep digging it, and then I'll keep making them. So until next time, guys, like I said, there will be lots of different stuff on here, not just these types of videos. It's called Tone Quest, but to me, tone is not just like, oh, set your amp like this. It's tones in your hands. It's learning. It's developing, you know, whatever you're hearing in your head, that's your tone. So, and it's my tone. The tone is in my head. So I'll see you guys all later. And yo, I don't really have a way to end these videos, so we out.